So I just filmed this review and realized my microphone was on mute. So gotta love it. But nevertheless, not gonna hold that against this film. But I'm gonna hold that against me for being an idiot. All right. So another film and me going through the discography of Woody Allen. This was another great recommendation from Mike, and that is 1992's Husbands and Wives, directed and written by Woody Allen. The film also stars Woody Allen, Mia Farrow, Sidney Pollack, Judy Davis, and Juliette Lewis, with also a very young Liam Neeson. So this film is essentially a look at these four main characters, two who are in marriages together, and we open the film with Sidney and Judy Davis's marriage, saying to Woody Allen and his wife that they are no longer together, that they are getting a separation, that he is moving out, that they think they need a break from each other. And this comes to an absolute shock of Mia Farrow, who I think seemingly seemed pretty secure in her marriage before that. Then takes a turn of, I think, a lot of fear and a fear of an abandonment and overthinking their own marriage and really being absolutely shocked and blown away that a couple that they seemingly saw as a perfect couple or a couple that would uh, grow old and die together are breaking it off. So from there, the film really focuses on those four main characters and how they're all dealing with almost essentially the marriage breakup, but almost a friendship breakup, as now it becomes kind of strange for them to not be hanging out with them together. Now they're hanging out with them on separate dates. Mia Farrow essentially takes over as a wingman for her friend Judy, for Judy Davis's character, and sets her up with Liam Neeson, and quite quickly realizes how stupid it is to set someone up with Liam Neeson when you had him right in front of you. So there's a lot of turmoil with that. Sidney Pollack is going out with seemingly women that are not right for him. But I really want to focus on Woody Allen's character, what he kind of does, because he is kind of what I would say almost not really opposed to the idea, but just seemingly doesn't seem as shocked or to have that kind of connection that Mia's character does. And he becomes that college professor that likes to sleep with all the pretty women by glazing them about how great all their work is and how their essay listening that blew them away, and that they'll read to classes for examples for years to come. And the one thing too, though, is like it's interesting to show this type of person because these people exist, and I think it was fascinating. But at the same time, I think one criticism I saw when I was looking at what are people's reaction to this work, and essentially a lot of people have the criticism about Woody Allen and his personal life, and that seems to somewhat bleed through his work. Where I've seen now a few of his films where he is the guy that's dating the young woman, or the guy that's dating. It's essentially almost it is a grooming in my opinion. I think if you're the age of to be someone's father, you should be dating them. So I found that I definitely not kind. I definitely found that weird. But I do found his scenes with Juliette Lewis very compelling, really well done. Some amazing writing that he's able to get through this. But I think the most compelling idea that this film really presents is kind of the idea that how do you get your needs met, and that's a struggle I think with a lot of people, especially people in relationships, especially people in marriages. Is to get your needs met is a very important thing, and it is somewhat selfish, obviously, but it's something that we all inherently want. And that's one thing I think this film really shows well, is that all these people, and they're all different, they all have their own goals and ambitions and interests and hobbies, and they all are in relationships where their needs are not met. And that is a problem with them, is that they if you're not in a relationship where your needs are met, the only thing that's going to happen is it's only going to deteriorate and get worse and end in breakup or cheating. And I think this film really presents those ideas quite well. With Woody Allen's writing and I think insight into humanity, it really pulls through. And on the filmmaking side of this movie, I thought it was really cool at the times where it seemed like a lot of these scenes you were a fly on the wall. You were not meant to see this. This is someone's raw arguments and fights that they are having with their spouse and their questionings of their own lives and existence. And the film really does a good job at keeping very long shots, which are very impressive. A lot of handheld stuff here, not very stable shots. And I think that really lends to you kind of having an uncomfortableness feel, or also having the feel that you are in the room with these couples. But another strange thing that I had a hard time latching onto, and I think a lot of people do have a hard time latching onto, is the faux documentary style of this film. This film has those raw documentary style interviews where you're looking directly into the camera, you're saying exactly how you feel, you're answering direct questions or leading questions. And in a film like this, it doesn't justify that. It doesn't ever pretend that there's cameras there. It doesn't ever acknowledge that this is some sort of documentary or some sort of project of something. It just has those scenes, and it just seems like it's more of a convenience for the audience, is that you get more of these characters' backstory or feelings or understanding of maybe what's going on in their head. But as a filmmaking way, to me, I think if you're going to use that as an easy crutch to get that information along, you should write something creative to justify that. But other than that, that really was one of my few takeaways from the film. This film is a great film, especially if you're maybe going through some relationship issues or marriage issues. This is a film I think you'll find a character that you can relate to the most, whether they're good or bad. And that's another great thing about film, is that you can have great characters that don't have to be good people. And this film is full of that. But overall, I would highly recommend this film. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Very impressive work. Woody Allen has yet to disappoint me. He's only shown me some amazing, amazing films. So I'm very impressed with this guy. Maybe not personal choices, but who gives a fuck? I'm not him. He's not me. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you enjoy, hit the sub.